There we go. I went up to the truck. Actually, I was getting some line, and it occurred to me that this used to be a pasture over here. Before we bought it, there was cows on it, and there used to be a hot wire that went around it. And now that the cows are gone, there was still some rebar and some posts that were left from when the cows were here. And rebar is a lot sturdier than the little plant sticks that I got. And plus, they had these little yellow plastic wire holders on there. They're pretty sturdy and they clamp on there and they're movable. So I said, no. And I went and found two short ones and then two metal posts that were obviously taller than the little pieces of rebar. They also had the same kind of clamp, movable. So I brought them back and put them in the ground as close to where the original markers are. And then I still had my level set up at that point, so I reshot the level just to make sure that they were dead on still. And they were. So that made things easier. So I'm gonna run my string, and because these stakes are a little bit sturdier, I think I'm gonna have better success keeping that string tight, at least you know, level for a distance. And if not, I'll reshoot it again with the laser level. But it's just a quick update, and I'm hoping that will make my life easier if I just measure everything off that string, because this string is not stretchy. I hope it's not stretchy. So when I pull it straight, it'll get nice and taut and be level, at least for this distance. If nothing else, at 25 feet. Because 40 feet might be too much of a stretch. I might have to support it somewhere down the middle, which is fine. It'll just make things easier, I think, to walk along with the string and get my level based on that. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'll try and set this or set you up where you can see, but I can't promise you're gonna see the whole thing. It's just me tying a string from corner to corner to corner. But hey, success is sometimes measured in little steps. So here we go. Just trying to see how far exactly you can see. It's hard to tell. Well, like this wasn't a hazard enough, right? So, let's see. What do you see? Okay. Now that the line is out, you can tell that it's pretty level. Although, you know, when you were looking at it before, or when I was looking at it before, I was like, wow, that's a big difference. Of course, right here, we have the line running underneath the logs. Just a couple of them. And I'm really tempted to see if I can't push them back a little bit. The fact that they're dry means that I can move them. You know, I can move them by hand. If they were wet, there's you know, no way. You might be able to roll one just a little bit. When they wet, they weigh, when they're wet, they weigh about as much as a car. They weigh a lot. But these have been drying for a while, and I can kind of manhandle them to a certain extent. So let me give it that shot. Let me see if I can do that, and then it might be kind of interesting at least to see where we're at. And I'm happy with this at this point. I do have a line level in the shed there, so when I come back out and actually start putting in rebar to put the cement in, which I think will be within the next day or so, and I need something somewhat accurate, I can go off the line. And it's just really nice to actually have some corners and get a feel for the sides. It gives a little more dimension. So anyway, let me put this down for a minute and see if I can't move those. And if one doesn't roll on me and kill me, I'll be back, and you'll know whether I have success or not. And of course, if I don't come back, you'll know I did not succeed. Actually, I wonder. I don't know. Let's see if I can find a place to put you. Will you stay there? Will you stay? You're on the shovel. It's kind of a precarious perch. What do you see? You see me. All right. Gloves. Sorry about that. Stay a little more balanced. I went to move this one. I went to move the first log over here, over to the side. And I thought I could probably work it back a little bit, and then I realized that the line is actually resting. It's resting on this log here. Just a little bit. But it's resting on that log, and that log is actually holding up almost all of the other logs. Almost all of these logs is holding up the ends of almost all of these logs. So at this point, it's just not feasible for me to try and move every single log and then move this one down here just to get that to level out. Not at the point I'm at right now. So I think when I get access to a tractor, I guess I should probably put my my bid in now for the tractor, because last time I asked for a tractor, it took them 4 days to get here. So anyway, I'm going to go with what we have right now. And I think we had some pretty good progress today. I'm really hungry, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I was going to shoot the bow and arrow for a little bit, but it was pretty windy. I don't know how accurate that would be. And anyway, I think that's it for today. If we do any more, I'll let you know. Bring it back. Okay. It's the same day. I just I had another thought, and it's something that it's been bothering me for a little bit, or on my mind anyways, and really been bothering me. But what I was curious about was just exactly how far apart my posts, my corners are. And the reason I say that is when you have something that is like a rectangle on a flat surface, it's a rectangle. When you lay it down onto something that's uneven or a curve, it's not a rectangle anymore. Now if you measure out a rectangle on that surface and then pick it up, it's not a rectangle anymore, because the surface that you took it off of was uneven. So I guess the thing I'm wondering is how far off am I because of the drop, because of the slope over here? How far am I off on my ends? As long as my ends are no longer than 25 feet, I'm good. As long as my sides, well, front and back, are no longer than 40 feet, I'm good. So I want to take a quick measurement and see. I'm actually really curious how far off I am on each end compared to the other end, and also where we're at. So let me, I'll put you down and give this a shot. Now I think I'm able to do this because of the posts that I just put in. I think they're strong enough to support the tape measure within reason. Obviously I'm not going to go yanking on it because I don't want to pull them out of the ground or bend them or anything. And yeah, I know they're not leveled up, so they're not perfectly vertical. I mean plumb straight up and down, but I think they're kind of close enough to give us an idea. Oh, 24 feet 10 inches. And I'm very much okay with that. 24 feet 10 inches is fine. I mean, that could well be within the lean of the post, the 2 inches. So let's go take a look at this end here and see where we're at. So that's 24 feet 9 inches. Again, that could be within the lean of the post. I'm so happy with that. 1 inch difference when you're building a log cabin with crooked walls and crooked logs, I think is going to be perfectly acceptable. So I'm going to see how close to square I am. So I'm going to start on this corner here and measure to that corner, and then I'll measure from that corner to this corner, and in theory they're going to be close. I hope they're close, because that would mean that this is relatively square. If they're a ways off, then I'm going to have a weird shaped cabin and I have to move them, and I've gone through a lot of trouble at this point trying to make sure that they're in the right spot, so I don't want a crooked cabin. So let's see where we go here. I'm going to start with the far corner over there and measure to there, and I'll let you know what we got, and then we'll measure from the other side. Unfortunately, I just don't have a wide enough angle to get the whole thing, so hold on. It's a little more complicated than I thought. "46 foot 10 inches. Fingers crossed. Alright, let's see what we got. I had to measure from the short end because the end doesn't like to stay on this little clip. Doesn't like to stay on there, so alright. Where are we at? On Mr. Tape Measure. So 46, 47, 2 inches. Two inches. I'm gonna live with that. I'll live with that. It's not worth redoing all of this over something that could very easily be within the lean of the post. So I'm happy. I'm happy with this. I think we're making progress, slow progress. But so far the only thing I've had to undo is one of the holes, which was pretty easy. I just had to dig it again. And anyway, I'll bring it back for the next step when I figure out what that's going to be.